No way. What? You asked Brian to the prom and he said what? That is unacceptable. That is totally unacceptable. You cannot let him treat you like that. Oh my god. This Brian is such a brainless zombie. Oh. Sorry.
While a lot of different genres continue to dominate the market, such as Battle Royale and, well, Battle Royale, quite recently in the last couple of years, I've been hearing a lot of really positive things about visual novels and dating simulators. And while the genre has existed for a long time, the most recent titles to have come out have proven themselves to be apparently a lot more enticing, exciting, entertaining, and bizarre. Even so, that the genre itself has started to make somewhat of a dent in mainstream gaming. Tons of content creators play these games out of genuine curiosity or to just show their reactions throughout the gameplay.
Also, how did you did you take like 3 hours to do your hair today? Like, holy shit,
No, these
dude.
are painted cinnamon rolls and then I pasted them on.
And through this, they've in turn contributed to this sudden spike of popularity of visual novels, as many people have been recently playing games like Doki Doki Literature Club, Steins Gate, and even Dream Daddy Simulator. So when the game Monster Prom was released to overwhelmingly positive reviews, I naturally got curious. I wanted to see what all the hype was about. The first thing that caught my attention was its vivid colors, interesting art style, and to be honest, the concept of monsters going to a prom was speaking to my inner goth from 2007 that loved all things Tim Burton and Panic at the Disco. So I thought, why not? I'm already knee deep in nostalgia. Let's just keep the turnstiles rolling, shall we? And I was excited to play this game as I haven't had much experience playing dating simulators. The only dating sims that I can think of that I either played through myself or watched somebody else play was Doki Doki Literature Club and that one game on Newgrounds from way back when that I prefer not to talk about. Monster Prom is exactly what it sounds like. It's a quirky dating simulator wherein you play a student trying to nab a date for the prom. You have the option of courting many different types of monster high schoolers of varying backgrounds who aren't actually high school aged. So 1, calm your gonads, this is a safe for work environment. And 2, I find that choice to be both smart and hilarious. When I think of the many 80s and 90s teen films throughout history, a lot of the times the high schoolers are portrayed by adults with a surprisingly large age gap. Fun fact, did you know Rachel McAdams, who played Regina George in Mean Girls, was 25 years old at the time of filming? That's like 9 to 10 years older than the actual age of the character. Anyways, you've got your pick of multiple students to woo for affection, but because you're all ghouls and monsters, a lot of the times the dialogue has this backwards Addams Family logic to it. So something that would be taken as an insult in real life would instead be interpreted as a compliment.
Last night you were unhinged. You were like some desperate howling demon. You frightened me. Do it again.
Showering a character with flowers and compliments is not going to win them over, but in fact push them away. Sometimes I lost points based on answers I chose, and then I realized I wasn't thinking or putting myself in the mind of a monster. The real way to garner their admiration is through violent and absurd acts like robbing banks or making them a bouquet of entrails. Now, the sociopathy and evilness varies from character to character, as not all of the monsters are as bloodthirsty as some of the others. But there's definitely a backwards logic that's worth noting that I found to be pretty hilarious throughout playing the game. When you start up the game, there's an option to play with 4 friends, and also a feature that allows you to play online, which are the couch and online multiplayer options. Playing in the multiplayer mode is set up in a turn-based board game fashion and reminds me a lot of physical board games like Mall Madness.
Catch the madness, it's Mall Madness.
Attention mall shoppers,
It's Mall Madness, the talking shop till you drop game.
sale at the Fashion Boutique.
And I unfortunately can't comment too much on these features because, I'm an independent girl that don't need no ghouls. I decided to fly solo. Yeah, that was the reason. Who said that? Upon choosing your character, similar to Dream Daddy Simulator, I appreciated the fact that we were given the option of 3 different gendered identities. I don't know how common this is in modern dating simulators, but I honestly consider this to be a step in the right direction, as creating inclusivity to individual players has a stronger impact than one would think. While I myself am not some hardcore dating simulator player. There are many people in the world who are. And I know that personally, if I'm invested and I seriously love a game, I always appreciate when a developer adds something to the game that makes it feel like it's more personalized for me, which in turn only connects me further to that game, regardless of how minuscule this may be to people who just can't relate. Especially since many people turn to games not only as a form of entertainment, but also for comfort and escapism. The primary objective of Monster Prom is to find a date in 3 weeks leading up to the big night. You're equipped with a counter at the side of the screen that indicates your stats like your wit and your charm, and you can increase your stats in certain areas to further entice specific monsters. You can do this through navigating through the many parts of the school, through purchasing items that'll give you that extra boost, and also the choices that you make when interacting with other characters. You gotta be careful though, because depending on the choices that you make, you can either help or harm your stats. So there's some strategy to this decision-making process. Just remember, think like a ghoul. Like I said before, there's 6 monsters that have the potential to becoming your future prom date. In my first playthrough, I couldn't decide on whether I wanted to be with bad boy airhead Damien LeVay or the illustrious and malicious Vera Oberlin. Damien LeVay is a brass demon who doesn't think before he acts. He's an airhead and also a bully. He's described as being an intense bad boy willing to bring hell upon those who dare bothering him. He likes destruction and is a huge pyromaniac. Damien also doesn't like being told to calm down, loves calling people noobs, and believes love to be one of the most badass and powerful things in the world. Wow. Vera Oberlin is a calculative, cruel yet gorgeous Gorgon. She's mean-spirited and always wants to have things her way. She's attracted to power, wealth, and fame, and looks down on the dumb, unattractive, and poor. Through my interactions with both characters, I came to find that both Vera and Damien shared the similarities of being driven scammers that thrive to build their own individual startup companies in their own weird and twisted ways. Damien beats up people for their money and their organs, definitely a more archaic method, while Vera uses her wit to scam and blackmail people out of money. Wow, a malicious con artist and a good-looking buffoon. Where are my standards? Unable to choose, I spent most of my time bouncing from one character to another. I started having increased interactions and much more success with Vera, so in the end, I naturally gravitated more towards her. And after much back and forth, my chance finally came. The night of the prom. It's time to shoot my shot, fellas. Wish me luck. Vera, will you be my dance at tonight's prom?
Prom with you? No.
And she rejected me. I was too human, too kind, too willing to give her my love. She laughed in my face, and for the rest of the night I stood next to the minibar sipping on punch. Whatever, I'm not bothered. It doesn't really matter to me. If you're not Zendaya, then stay out of my DMs, I don't care. Monster Prom is a pretty entertaining game, and I would highly recommend this game to anybody who's new to visual novels. And I'm the type of person who tends to stay away from games like this, as I usually find them to be kind of boring. It always feels like a chore when I play these games because they're so dialogue heavy, and usually little to no action ever takes place. And that's not a negative point in any sense, as that's basically what a visual novel is. It's just not a genre that I personally get much entertainment out of. I'm more of a hack and slash platformers kind of guy. But even with that bias, Monster Prom has surprisingly exceeded my expectations, and I found myself having a great deal of fun playing it, and I enjoyed it a lot. As someone who doesn't play many games like this, I found it really held my attention. The dialogue was witty and hilarious at times. The game has a cute aesthetic and a heavy amount of replay value, considering there's apparently over 300 possible outcomes each time you play, with extra content being updated regularly. And I'm guessing it's even more fun to play with friends. It would probably be a great game to play at sleepovers or small get-togethers. So if you enjoyed any of the things I just described, then Monster Prom is definitely a game worth checking out. If you guys enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and like that little bell so you can receive notifications as to when new videos are coming out. And if you guys want to support the show and aren't really sure how, please consider donating to my Patreon. We're almost a third away from our first pledge goal. And yeah, that's all for today, guys. I will see you all later. Bye bye.
Hi, my name is Warren, and I'm just a kid like you. Or I was until I found evil Gargoyle's magic jewel. Then he tricked me, and I ran spell. Now every time I sneeze, monster by mistake. My sister Tracy tries the spell book. She never gets it right, but Tracy doesn't ever give up. 'Cause you know one day she might find the words that will return me to my former width and height. I'm a monster by mistake. I'm gonna tell you about Johnny the Ghost. He's a wisecrack and trumpet playing friend. a monster by